A limiting belief is a deep-rooted belief inside your brain that has no basis in reality. It's not based off of facts, but because it keeps you inside your comfort zone, you keep believing it, and that is what is stopping you from growing in all areas of your life. Now, I'm not blaming you for having limiting beliefs because it can be caused through childhood trauma, it could be caused through actually anything stupid as well. Like, I used to have a limiting belief of not being able to talk in front of an audience, which we're going to talk about in the video, and that was caused because I was once, when I was a very small child, 4 or 5 years old, was performing in front of an audience and my pants came off and I was in underwear in front of the entire school. That is childhood trauma. It is also something very stupid. So I don't blame you for having limiting beliefs, but if you keep on believing them, just know that you are the reason you are keeping yourself from growing. You are limiting your growth. When I was in school, maybe 5th, 6th की बात है, I had a very deep-rooted limiting belief. I had a limiting belief before that even. I've told you about it, the stage fright. But in 5th, 6th, it really took place. Like, I was not participating in any extracurricular activities because I had this very deep-rooted limiting belief. I believed that with all of my core कि मैं परफॉर्मेंस के लिए बना ही नहीं हूँ. इसकी वजह से मैं कोई नए दोस्त नहीं बना पाता था. आई वॉज वेरी पॉपुलर एंड वेरी लाइक्ड इन माई फ्रेंड ग्रुप, बट मैं फ्रेंड ग्रुप के बाहर किसी से बात नहीं कर पाता था बिकॉज मेरा जो ओरिजिनल डीप रूटेड लिमिटिंग बिलीफ था कि मैं स्टेज पे परफॉर्म नहीं कर सकता था, उससे एक और लिमिटिंग बिलीफ निकला, ब्रांच लिमिटिंग बिलीफ, कि अक्षत शर्मा एक कॉन्फिडेंट इंसान नहीं है, कि मैं कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं हूँ. इसकी वजह से 5th से लेके 10th क्लास तक मैंने कोई नया दोस्त नहीं बनाया. मेरे जो कुछ दोस्त एक्सीडेंटली बन जाते हैं, एज व्हेन यू आर चाइल्ड यू मेक एक्सीडेंटल फ्रेंड्स, वही दोस्त मेरे कंटिन्यू रहे 10th क्लास तक. एंड दैट वाज बिकॉज ऑफ एन ओरिजिनल डीप रूटेड लिमिटिंग बिलीफ इन मी कि मैं स्टेज पे परफॉर्म नहीं कर सकता, और उससे एक और डीप रूटेड बिलीफ निकला कि अक्षत कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं है. बट मैंने डिसाइड किया कि 10th क्लास में आई डोंट वांट टू बी दिस पर्सन एनी मोर. मैंने उस आइडेंटिटी से खुद को डिस्कनेक्ट कर लिया. मैंने बोला कि आई टोल्ड माई सेल्फ, एंड दिस इज़ नॉट समथिंग दैट इज़ लाइक अर्थ शैटरिंग और समथिंग, बट दिस इज़ द फर्स्ट स्टेप. I disconnected myself from the identity. I told myself that just because I kept telling myself that मैं confident नहीं हूँ, कि मैं stage पे perform करने के लिए नहीं बना, that doesn't make it a fact. I am doing it right now. I have done countless performances. I am extremely confident when I'm speaking in front of an audience or doing anything whatsoever. So it was not a fact. अक्षत कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं है, ये फैक्ट नहीं था, ये बस मैं बिलीव कर रहा था बिकॉज ऑफ सम चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा. तो 10th में मैंने डिसाइड किया कि इसको टैकल करने के लिए आई विल टेक पार्ट इन माई स्कूल्स एनुअल डे फंक्शन, which was like an historical act. The entire thing was based off of like historical people and historical figures. मेरे को acting का role मिला out of everything. Like when you act, you have the most stage fright because you're doing the most cringe thing. You have to remember all the lines. You have to act a certain way. So it's very taxing, especially when you have stage fright. So I was doing like the worst thing possible as someone who has like extreme stage fright. It was a historical act and it was a conversation between Shri Krishna and Shishupal. If you don't know about the premise, Shri Krishna was having a conversation with Shishupal. Shishupal is his cousin. They were having a conversation. It was a courtroom conversation. The entire premise took place around the time of Mahabharata, but it happened before Mahabharata. So that's the basic outline of it. The basic premise of the entire act that we were doing was basically there was this conversation between Shri Krishna and Shishupal. Shri Krishna ने, this is like prerequisite knowledge, Shri Krishna ने शिशुपाल की मदर को प्रॉमिस करा था कि वो उसके 100 पाप माफ़ करेंगे, 100 sins, राइट. इसलिए बोलते हैं कि तुम्हारे पापा को खड़ा कर गया, शिशुपाल से ही वो सेइंग निकले. कोर्ट रूम में होते हैं वो, और कृष्ण जी की वो बहुत बेइज्जती करता है, बहुत उल्टी सीधी बातें बोलता है, एंड श्री कृष्ण जी कुछ नहीं बोल रहे हैं. ही इज़ काउंटिंग हिज सिंस की तुमने इतने सारे पाप करे. जैसे ही उसके 100 पाप पूरे हो जाते हैं, ही टेक्स आउट द सुदर्शन चक्र और वो उसका गर्दन काट देते हैं, एंड ही डाइज. दैट is the entire premise. That was the entire act. I played Shishupal, just so we're clear. There were at least 10 rehearsals between me and Shri Krishna, and then there was teachers who were handling the entire thing, who were guiding us कि तुम गलत कर रहे हो, तुम सही कर रहे हो, etc. Most of these rehearsals, there were more than 10 rehearsals. Most of them were done in front of a live audience because the teacher wanted to prepare us to the best extent so we don't get stage fright when we're actually performing in the annual day, right? And that was an awesome idea. So she asked the entire school to sit in the school auditorium, and then we were performing while wearing like school uniforms and shit. And the premise I already told you, I had to fall down at the end. मेरे को वो सुदर्शन चक्र चलाते हैं and मेरे को लास्ट में मर के गिर जाना था. तो after like we did this like a lot of times, like we did it 10 times, and each time I did my part like 4 or 5 times like per day. So we did like 30-40 times. Crazy rehearsals, loved it and everything. I remember every single time when I was getting onto stage, I would be shivering out of stage fright. मेरी टांगे काँप रही थी, मेरे हाथ में से पसीने आ रहे थे, and my hands sweat a lot just normally, and when I have stage fright they really sweat. So I was extremely nervous. I could not even look at the audience. मेरी peripheral vision से मेरे को audience दिखती थी तो मेरे को डर लगने लग जाता था, पसीना आने लग जाता था. So I was really focused on Shri Krishna. I only looked at him. I delivered all my lines perfectly, and I did the act amazingly. I remember this one time after doing the rehearsal like 4 or 5 times, last rehearsal था उस दिन का, and मैं गिर जाता हूँ. He does the Sudarshan Chakra thing and मैं गिर जाता हूँ, and it was almost like this movie scene where for a moment, just for me, everything went silent. Like you can imagine when you're in a school in front of a school audience, everybody's talking, everybody's laughing, सब लोग हंस रहे हैं मेरे पे क्योंकि I'm just falling down for no reason. Everybody's naturally laughing, and for a moment, just for a moment, everything went silent for me. कोई आवाज़ नहीं आ रही, कुछ सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, कुछ भी नहीं. And I just thought to myself, like, this is fun. Like I'm truly having fun. I'm enjoying it. I realized I'm not scared anymore. मेरे हाथ में से पसीना नहीं आ रहा, मेरी टांगें नहीं काँप रही. And I realized like I'm not scared anymore. I don't have stage fright anymore. After like 10 practices, I'm not scared anymore. तो मैंने बस खुद से सोचा कि मैं किस चीज़ के लिए डर रहा था. The fuck was I scared of? And for the first time, इससे पहले मैंने audience को नहीं देखा था. For the first time, I looked at the audience and किसी को घंटा फर्क नहीं पड़ता. They laughed for 3 seconds. Everybody, it was like a roaring laughter when I fell. And I should have been nervous. I should have been conscious, insecure, but I had fun. I felt like I was performing and making people laugh, and they were having fun, they were having good time, and I felt really good about myself. And 3 सेकंड के बाद जब मैंने उनको देखा, they were back to talking to each other. Nobody gave a fuck. किसी को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. फिर कृष्ण एक्ट कर रहा था, he gave me his hand. मैं खड़ा हुआ, and then we went off. After the performance, when we went outside the auditorium, मुझे जितने भी लोग मिले, मेरे फ्रेंड्स, मेरे क्लासमेट्स, पीपल, स्ट्रेंजर्स जिनको मैं जानता नहीं था, everybody said कि भाई कितना कमाल करा तूने. You were an awesome Shishupal. The teachers were all complimenting me. It was perfect. My point with this entire premise, with this entire story, is that before you do anything new, it's always going to be scary. And whenever you do something for the first few times, you're always going to suck. You're always going to be the worst at it. But everybody starts that way. Everybody has to be bad to begin with. There is no such thing as fucking talent. Sure, some people are just born freaks. Right, some people are just born and they're 5 years old and they can sing like anything. Some people are just talented for sports. But for most people, when you start doing something, you have to be bad at it for a long time. And when you do something for a long enough period of time, you'll realize कि यार, I'm not really that bad at it anymore. I don't really suck as much. And then you'll realize कि जो भी वो चीज़ थी जिससे तुम्हें डर लग रहा था, जो भी वो चीज़ थी that was scaring you so much is not really that scary. Like the audience thing, right? I was so scared of the audience, and I looked at them, I realized they were having fun and they just didn't care. There was nothing to be scared of. So I promise you, when you shift your identity, and this is just an example, but when you shift your identity from I can't perform, I'm not a performer, to I am a performer, you will find a way. But you just have to put yourself in front of the stage. You just have to perform for the first time, and that first time will open the windows for you. But you just have to make that first leap of faith. And I promise you, जो भी चीज़ है ना जिससे तुम्हें इतना डर लग रहा है, जिससे तुम्हारी टांगे काँप रही हैं, it's all in your head. डरने की कोई बात नहीं है, किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता. I hope this helps at least one person, and that would be like the best thing for me. I'm building a community of high value men, और मैंने wanna become high value. If you think you're one of them, subscribe to my channel right now ताकि मेरी videos आपको और आसानी से ढूंढ पाएं. And I can help you in your own self-improvement journey by videos just like this every Monday and Thursday. Share this video to 5 of your friends who you feel this video will help, and I'll see you in the next video.